Right. Okay. A quick super chat. Shukran, Adam Mia. How do you view Ibn Arabi's Wahdat al-Wujud and its similarities to Advaita Vedanta? Right. So, you see, I don't know about similar. Obviously, as human beings, there will always be similarities in certain thought processes and distinctions in others. So, I do have spoken on Ibn Arabi and his Wahdatul Wujud. I do have a mind trap discussion on that with. I have that recently. I've just done that, so do check that out. That's uh, with Sayyid Hasnain. So do check it out and go through the whole. I mean, in fact, prior to that, I have another. I must have at least about 3 mind trap uh, dialogues entirely on Ibn Arabi, and more to come. More to come. So do check them out. And we go through all of this kind of wahdatul wujud and the complexities of all of this. Obviously, these things are difficult to understand. You see, you have no frame of reference for them. So it's hard to explain to people without a frame of reference, because you can't help but frame it to whatever frame of reference you have. And reason here, the only way reason can accommodate is if you have some experience. Maybe if you are a person who walks the path, but otherwise you can't identify, because it doesn't appear logical. It's a bit like quantum physics when it's not really logical in that sense. So these things like wahdatul wujud, understanding concepts of non-duality, I think it's difficult to explain, because I can't say to you of non-separation, of yet still separation, the concept of observer and observed. It doesn't make sense, because then you'll think it's God, but it's not necessarily, it's not God in these understandings. So it's hard to explain because you've not ever understood anything like that. So what are you going to refer it to in your mind? And believe me, your mind is not that capable. I can assure you. इतना जोर मत लगाओ. You won't. No need to try that hard. You ain't gonna be able to do it. ये हो ना पाएगा तुमसे. You won't be able to. This is something. It doesn't matter how intelligent you are. This is not an issue of intelligence. This is a matter of relatability and of comprehension based on some actual like experiential comprehension, which can't really be it can't be just understood. It can only be experienced. So yeah, I hope that makes sense. So this is why I don't like people this topic being argued or debated, or because it's a silly concept. It doesn't really make sense. Okay, it's a bit like dividing by 0. You see, if you divide by 0, what do you have? It's it's mad, isn't it? It's incalculable. It's not infinity. It's just malfunction. This is why Einstein said that black holes are where God divided by 0. Now, it's such a simple thing. I say to you, divide by 0. It sounds so simple. And yet the answer is bizarre. So that's how these things are. So when you want to understand them, refer back to these simple things like mathematics. That think of the other, the mathematic, that things like this, because they will then remind you how, they'll humble you. Like if I told you that in mathematics, if you added every number, 1 plus 2 plus 3 plus 4, and you did this, and you could do this to infinity, and you could add every number, do you know what the answer would be? And the answer would be minus 1/12. That's true. And it's actually stood up and this is tested. It's not just Now, would you be able to get your head around that? So, and when you try to, you can go and you can learn, you can Google, you can YouTube, you're going to find the answer. Exactly, this is the answer. But you're going to watch them explain it to you and you're still going to feel stupid. Don't worry, it happens to the best of us. And you'll try and understand it and you'll still feel stupid. And then you'll realize, nah, munana, this is not the place for us, man. We have to humble ourselves, trying to understand non-duality, trying to understand infinity in experience, trying to understand you can't do these things. So that's my advice to people who want to understand Wahdatul Wujud. First of all, understand why and how, like actually not just learn, try to understand things like this, like adding this component. If you added every sequence of number to infinity, why does it equal minus 1/12? Understand that. Understand it, and not just repeat it. And if you can understand it, you're one step closer to understanding Wahdatul Wujud. Then understand like division by zero and how things like this work, and understand these mathematical these kind of not paradoxes, but just conundrums. Understand them, and then you're a step closer, and you keep going, and then you'll get there. Don't hasten. Don't feel that you can simply grasp metaphysics like that so easily. You can't even grasp astrophysics. Can't even grasp physics. You can't even grasp mathematics. तो ये तो दूर की बातें हैं पप्पा. So these are something very, don't worry, once you've done that, then you see meta is beyond. So once you've done that with all these physics and all this, then metaphysics. So cool.